Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome to the What Time is a Dude podcast. Today's topic is about languages in general, just a random conversation about our experience with languages. And considering Peter here is a linguistic major, we were going to start with you. What is the first languages you learned? What are the languages you know the most?
Yeah, well, also, we just decided to do this because, that when we first started hanging out and talking, that was one of the things we quickly realized was, the two big common interests was, theology and, philosophy and then, language stuff. So, but I studied linguistics for my bachelor's, not any one specific language, although I did study, 2 years of modern standard Arabic and took a couple semesters of advanced Persian. But the first language that I didn't really learn any foreign language until I was in high school. I started learning German. And then after high school, I moved to Germany for 2 years and learned German there. And then while I was in Germany, I lived in a house with a lot of refugees and immigrants from Iran and Afghanistan. So I started learning Farsi and quickly found that I was much more fascinated by Farsi as a language and the Persian culture. So I focused a lot of the rest of my time there on learning Farsi. And then studied Arabic.
How fluent are you in Farsi and German?
So I'd say German is the one that I'm most fluent in. It's been 5 years since I've lived in Germany, so obviously my German's not as good as it was then. But I think, whenever I go back, it's pretty easy to pick up again. But I can still, watch movies in German without, needing subtitles. Or, when I was in Germany, I think I was at a B2 level. So that's the level under, in the that system, I forget what it's called. I think the Common European framework, whatever. There's A1 is very beginner, C2 is native speaker, C1 is academic level of you could be writing papers and doing research in that language.
Oh, okay.
Studying, and then B2 is you're conversationally fluent, but you probably don't have a very
robust vocabulary.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Can you actually have do you know slang and all of that in Germany?
Yeah, I definitely knew some of the slang and the interesting thing about German in Germany there is I can't remember how many states there is, but there's quite a few different states or provinces, and they pretty much all have their own dialects, and within the states there's a lot of different dialects. So the dialect of the town I was in a small rural farming community, and their dialect is called Pfälzisch because they're in the state, the province of Rhineland-Pfalz. And if you take somebody who grew up in that state, especially of an older generation there, who pretty much only speaks that dialect, and put them with somebody from a similar background but in a different state, different dialect, they can really struggle to understand each other.
Really?
Yeah. So most of the young people all learn Hochdeutsch or High German, Standard German in school.
Right.
But the older generation can really only speak their dialect for the most part.
Oh yeah.
So there can definitely be it's a pretty wide array of dialects. That
Something that I found interesting is that's why I was asking you if you can speak slang. Something that I found really interesting is that people from if you catch anyone from the streets, right, that probably doesn't have the best education, right, and you put them with someone that is struggling with that language, they have a hard time to communicate because the other person doesn't really know how to bring his ideas and articulate it in the best way. While people that are more educated will, be better. So if you can actually talk with anyone in the streets of Germany, right, then you probably are fluent enough, in German. Yeah. I think that's the way I think about it. If you can talk to anyone in the streets and have a normal conversation with them, informal German, without the dialect, then I think you're fluent enough, right?
Right. Yeah.
because for Iraq, right, we also have like provinces, states.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a huge different dialect. It's
Mhm.
more about the different pronunciations, like in English where it's like British.
Yeah, yeah.
They speak differently, and
Mhm.
the accent is just different, and it's pretty much the same. Where it's like small changes, some words are different for the
Right.
same thing, but otherwise they can usually understand each other.
Yeah.
They the interesting thing about Iraq and the states is it's like they're not enemies, but they love each other usually. Like right now, I've seen
They do love each other?
they do love
Oh,
each
really?
other,
Okay.
but at the same time they have these competitions between each other,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Who's more generous?
Yeah.
Because Iraq is all about
Sure.
generosity. So one of the biggest
That's nice.
competition is who's more
Mhm.
generous.
Mhm.
Always on YouTube, on social media.
Oh, yeah.
This state is the most generous. It's like
Mhm.
that's their kind
Yeah.
of competition kind of thing. But otherwise, they're like really close together.
Mhm.
It's pretty, especially with the newer generation, the younger generation.
Mhm.
They're more tightly knit together,
Yeah.
more so than previous generations,
Mhm.
which might have had more
Yeah.
animosity with the others.
The-
Back to the conversation.
Yeah,
of
I mean-
languages because sidetracked.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah. There's actually similar in Germany. Like, there's some pretty hardcore like rivalries between the states. And
Yeah.
I was in Rhineland Falls, and the neighboring state, which both Rhineland Falls and Saarland, the neighboring state, are both on the border with France. But people in Rhineland Falls just hate Saarland. It's like they just despise it.
Really?
And they just make fun of like
How?
people from there all
Why?
the time. Well, I think the Saarland dialect, it has a lot more like French words in it because during the time of like
Yeah.
Napoleon, there was just a lot of time where that area was under French control, which Rhineland Falls actually was too. So I don't totally get it, but I mean, it's kind of honestly, it reminds me of like where I grew up in Michigan, and growing up in Michigan, you were just like trained to just like hate Ohio. Like in my mind growing up, Ohio, there was nothing beautiful in Ohio. There's nothing green, nothing that grows. It's just like just endless like concrete and like parking lots.
So I bet you know about the meme about Ohio, right? The memes online about Ohio. You don't know about it? It's pretty much that. It's pretty much that. It's like everyone hates Ohio. They say Ohio isn't a real place.
It's
like on the internet. It's like a big thing. So apparently it's from Michigan.
Yeah,
now
probably.
It makes sense.
And it's vice versa. Ohio hates Michigan, but
there just a random thing that I saw the other day. I don't know if it's how true it is, but apparently there was like only the first automobiles in Ohio. The first two somehow were the only car accidents, and there were only two in the whole state. And they fell into a car crash. It's funny. I don't know if it's true.
Cars
Yeah.
Like they had the whole state to drive around each other, and somehow they collided.
I don't know. It's funny, but I don't know if it's real.
Yeah.
What other languages? Do you know you said Spanish, right?
Well, so Farsi, and then I'd say like my Spanish is better than my Arabic, I'd say, which, my Arabic's not very good, but I can, like, read it better than I can speak it and stuff. But I would say, like, my Farsi at its, like, best point was, I'd say, like, B1, whereas, like, I can understand, 80%. I can reproduce close to that, but less than that. Like, in the high point, I guess in the peak of my Farsi, which again, it's been like 5 years since I've been in a more high immersion, like place with Farsi. But I was like, again, watching TV shows in Farsi. I still watch TV shows or movies in Farsi without the subtitles and stuff. Yeah, and like obviously I don't understand like every word, but like I can understand enough to where I can actually follow it and enjoy it. And if you're going by like the talking to people on the street thing, like so I'd say I'm conversationally fluent in the sense that like if that person didn't speak any English or we had no mutual language but Farsi, like we could still communicate. We could still have conversations for a couple hours.
So you're telling me you're the guy to go to Iran. We can go to Iraq and then go to Iran.
Yeah, dude.
That-
It's actually my dream to go to Iran. I would love to.
Yeah, we
but
can do that.
It's tricky right now.
That would
but-
be fun. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Definitely. Other than Spanish, do you any other languages, or is just that's it?
That's pretty much it.
Or
I mean,
a linguistic
I
major,
always-
you're a disappointment.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really like just. I think it's always fun to learn a greeting or like 3 to 5 sentences in
Right.
lots of different languages. So like I can introduce myself, like literally just introduce myself in Korean and say how's it going, or like say
Right.
I want to eat Korean barbecue or
Right.
stuff like that. Or like I can make one dad joke in Korean,
Whoa,
but like
what's the
really,
dad joke?
I'm not hyping up my Korean. Like if anyone would try to have a conversation
tell
with me,
us the
I
dad
literally
joke.
can just say.
What's
well,
the dad
so
joke?
the one of my friends who was an international student from Korea just taught me like you can ask somebody muheo means like what are you doing, and so if somebody were to ask me muheo, then I could say sum shigoida, which means I'm breathing, but it's just like a sarcastic response, like, oh, like, what's up? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
it's like,
it
I'm
means I'm
breathing.
breathing.
It's just like a sarcastic.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah. that
I
makes
told that, I,
Yeah.
like, made the joke to my boss when I worked at a Korean restaurant, and, like, it was just, like, I was the only, like, non-Korean guy in the room, and there was, like, 5 Koreans, and I made that joke, and everyone was just dying laughing. I could not I could not, like, follow it up with anything else.
Yeah.
Or like I tried to I probably know like 2 to 3 sentences in Russian, or like just random little bits and pieces.
Right.
It's fun because if you meet someone from there, even if you can just say 2 sentences
Yeah.
over and over again, it's a fun way to connect with people.
Yeah, it's a good impression, just having that.
Yeah.
Mostly it's just like you're showing interest in their
Mhm.
culture and their
Mhm.
language. Like if someone says, hi to me and, Assalamu alaikum in
Yeah,
Arabic,
yeah.
and they don't know anything, I'll be
You
interested.
still-
I just
yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
It's just because, you feel seen. In a way,
Yeah,
right?
it's a way of recognizing your
Right.
culture and language. Yeah, my roommates from like Haiti originally, so
Mhm.
I've learned like a sentence or two.
Where is Haiti?
It's right next to the Dominican Republic. It shares the same island as the Dominican
Oh,
Republic
okay.
in the Caribbean.
Mhm.
So it's like a smaller western half of the of the island, but
Yeah.
they have a French Creole, which is so it has a lot of words from French, but it's a
Oh.
blend of other like
Yeah.
indigenous languages. So
Yeah, when I was younger, I was like obsessed with learning French. Like I
Oh, yeah.
wanted to, but I've never got the chance.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to go to like AP French and try to do that. But every time I'm like, I can do it later.
Mhm.
And now I'm 20 and I haven't done it at all. But I don't know. I'm not really as interested. I've since last year I've been trying to learn Romanian.
Yeah.
It started because I had an interest in going
Mhm.
there. Now I'm just doing it because
You already started.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
already started. I'm on Duolingo, and there's like a
Mhm.
streak that I have to follow, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I've been on it for 150 days. I'm like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
stop. And now I just do it like as a chore.
Which you said didn't you say there's some
Yeah.
common words too between
Actually,
Arabic and
yeah, I remember something. In Romanian, zahar means sugar, right? In Arabic, in Iraqi dialects especially, we say zahar mur. Zahar mur, what does that mean? Zahar, I never knew what that even means. Mur means bitter. Like in Arabic, mur is bitter, right? So technically, in Iraqi dialect, it's saying bitter sugar. Like zahar mur, we say it when someone's being annoying or something, or being loud or whatever. So we tell them zahar mur,
Okay.
shut up, or pretty much.
But it literally means bitter sugar.
Yeah, because zahar means sugar in Romanian.
Huh.
But like in Arabic, it doesn't really mean anything.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Like there's also I just learned about this morning actually with my dad. Zahar, which is also some like small beads that they feed to fish, and the fish dies or something, and then they can catch them. I don't know what it is.
Oh,
It's
okay.
also called zahar.
Huh.
I don't know if it's now I'm confused if it's zahar as in the sugar in Romanian, but I think the sugar makes sense because like bitter sugar, it's like makes sense. But I wonder like how did it even get there? How did it even get to Iraq? It's like from Romania to Iraq is.
Well, I
crazy.
know that too. There's a lot of Arabic words in Spanish.
Yeah.
Because I think because like the Moors and there was like Islamic conquest that basically they had control over Spain for
Yeah.
a while. So there's definitely like some Arabic influence there.
Right. Even in names, the daughter of Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, her name is Fatima, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of Mexicans and people from Spain that I know that
have that name.
Have that name, Fatima. In fact, my chem TA, I always joke because I'm like, she looks Asian, but at the same time her name is Fatima and her last name is Martinez.
Oh, okay. So you're just like, where are you from?
Yeah, it's like confusing, but it's fun. It's fun seeing like such a mix.
Yeah.
But I think she's like Latina, but like Asian Latina. But her first name is Arabic. It's like Fatima, right?
Huh.
But it's funny to me because she probably doesn't even know that the origin of her name is Arabic.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of in the like Mediterranean region. There's so much blend of like Arabic and some of the Romance languages. Like I know Sicily was under Arab occupation for a couple hundred years, I think, and then there's a like Maltese. I think is its own language that is like basically a
Maltese,
blend of Arabic and
really?
And like Italian basically.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend that I know is like from Maltese. I never knew that they were like a blend of Arabic and Latin Italian. That's pretty interesting.
It might be like multiple Romance languages. But
Yeah.
But a lot of Arabic.
Maltese like close to Italy or what?
Well, Malta is off the coast. It's basically in between Italy and Tunisia. Is my memory.
Actually, the person that I know from Maltese, their father is actually was the prime minister there for a time.
Malta?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, crazy fun fact.
Wow, that's a deep pull.
Yeah, I was talking to him for like a long time, and he just dropped it one day. He's like, it's just a simple thing. I'm like, what do you mean it's a simple thing?
That's crazy.
But yeah, I enjoy learning languages, mostly when it's like to connect with people. But it gets boring sometimes when you don't have someone to talk to. It's like just becomes repetitive. And especially like Romanian right now, I don't have anyone to speak Romanian with. Nor am I like, I'm not in the level where I can actually like open a podcast or a movie and watch it and actually learn something from it because I'm like zero pretty much. I don't understand anything. Yeah,
it's definitely. I feel like your chances of success in learning a language are usually pretty tied to your interest in the culture, just because you have to have like a driving force, I think, behind learning it, and the language and culture are so tied together. That was my experience with Farsi. I never was planning to learn Farsi.
Right.
Like there was a day 3 months after I had started picking up the first 3 months I was in Germany, I was asking a lot of questions to my Farsi-speaking roommates, like, oh, how do you say this? How do you say that? And I just thought it was like really interesting to learn.
Right.
But it was like I was already doing that for 3 months before I actually consciously thought like, oh, I should like try to like really learn Farsi.
Learn it, yeah.
But at that point, it was such a natural, like organic process, I guess, because I was just so fascinated by
the environment.
Culture.
You're surrounded by
high
Farsi.
Immersion.
Yeah,
and that's like I do think that's why it's just hard. It's really hard to learn a language outside of like being in a different country, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was my struggle with Arabic. Like Arabic, I was in a classroum setting at university. That's just the least effective method of learning a language for me. But I think in general, it is just objectively less effective than
pretty much anything else.
Immersion.
Yeah, it's one of the two. It's your environment forcing you to learn it, or it's like my dad. He came to America without knowing a lick of English. He didn't know any English, but his environment forced him to. Or you're interested in the culture enough, in the culture and the living or whatever you want to do with it, right? It's one of those two. Those are like the only things that actually work, where you're going to actually become fluent, where it's not just, like you right now with Arabic, where you can speak some formal words, but actually, know the culture and know everything. Because for me, I was thrown in. I've told you about it. I was thrown in school. Just randomly one day when I was like 7, and my parents, don't speak English and everything. So I just go there and I don't know anything. The teacher is just pretty much like communicating just by a sign, and I don't know sign language.
Yeah.
So it's
that's crazy to be thrown into that.
Yeah, I was just thrown into that when I was 7. So it's pretty much like I have to teach myself. I have to, explain everything. And my dad, was busy. He couldn't teach me. Mm-hmm. So it was me teaching myself English when I was like 7.
Yeah.
And then I go home. There's no English at home. No one speaks English. It's just me that's at school, right? So it's just Arabic. So it's like a split, like 2 worlds. When I talk about culture, it's like this environment, the school environment, and because I need to learn about these people around me, forced me to learn, English. While at home, I'm forced, to learn more about Arabic. Yeah. And my mom is like, she was a teacher pretty much in Iraq. Mm-hmm. So she was teaching me a lot of stuff. She was always like teaching me Arabic. Like I technically have we had the books, the same textbooks that from Iraq. We brought them here, and I reached like level 7 or something, like grade 7. The only thing that I did not study, and I don't want to study, is grammar. I'm not gonna study. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, that's like the point where I draw the line. I'm like, I love Arabic, but grammar, not so much.
Well, and that's the funny thing is obviously like native speakers of the language don't have to have a conscious understanding of the grammar. And when I learned Farsi, I actually didn't I could not have told you when I was even at the point where I was at my highest point of fluency, I wouldn't have been able to tell you. I never had a time sat down in a classroom and learned it's a subject object verb order. Right. So I was not thinking about how to, but I just knew intuitively. Right. But that's exactly how kids learn. And that's the interesting thing.
It's the best way to learn it too. It's it makes it the most natural. Because once you start thinking about the grammar and all that, your language starts to deconstruct into very educational and very formal. Yeah, and that's why when you put a kid, because I've seen that too so much. In Germany, there was kids of of these refugee families who would get put into a German school, and they didn't. When I first met them, they didn't speak a lick of German, and within 2 years, they were speaking better German than me. Yeah, and they were say 7 years old when they started, and 9, and they were speaking really good fluent German, and that's not fundamentally different than just a kid learning their first language, because a baby you don't teach. Right. That's a funny thing. You don't teach a baby a language. You just talk around them. They just acquire. So that's the difference, I think. To go on the linguistic rant here a little bit is the language is not language fluency is not really a learned thing as much as an acquired thing. Right. So and you can learn, you can supplement, but ultimately you will never achieve fluency without the kind of subconscious acquiring level, because that is language production is not something that it's not this conscious process that you're mapping out the formula of I put the subject in there. It's a very subconscious process. And you learn that by tons of input. Your output will always be proportional to that. So definitely, yeah. Just a random thing I remembered. There was this random video I once watched. It was a language thing where it was, I don't know if you know about it, but there was this group of people. I don't know if it was the Roman Empire, the Greeks, but there was this group of people, they were natives or something, and they didn't have a language, right? And so their only language was the written language. They didn't have a written language, so they put images or animals or stuff in series of way and send it messages to people like that. So they sent to this to the guy that was about to invade them. They sent a bird, an arrow, and I think it was leaves or something. I'm not sure what the last one was. So when he looked at it, everyone was confused. What are they trying to say, right? He's if you, the king, he just translated to, if you don't back down, we're going to shoot you and make you die like all the birds in the sky or something like that. So he's let's not invade them, right? When everyone is like, what if they didn't mean that actually, and it was like something else, like a peace treaty or something.
Yeah.
And he just translated it in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's like how language actually like changes a lot.
Yeah.
It changes a lot of the view of the human and how we view humanity as a whole. Like I think like if we think to the ancient days, like Babylonian times, I don't know why I always have this view of them being better than us right now, more intellectual maybe, more smarter in a way. It's funny how others think it's like the opposite, but to me it's like they seem more smarter. People in Greece and all that. But then you would find like the scammer that they found the tablet where he scammed someone of copper. Have you heard of it? It's the first scam in history. It's like an old tablet where this customer sends a report about this copper businessman that sold him bad copper.
Yeah.
And he's like, he sold it to me and he disrespected my slave who I sent him. He sent his slave to get back the copper. And the copper was bad quality, and he disrespected the slave. So he's like, you need to pay me back. And I think it wasn't the only one. There was like multiple of the same guy. There was like multiple reports of the same guy.
So there's just one guy just like pissing a bunch of people off.
He was just bad at his job. So
and he doesn't even need a digital footprint to cancel him. He's got the tablets.
Yeah, it's really funny. When I read about it, it's like a full rabbit hole. Yeah, about how I forgot his name. He's like his name is there and everything. Yeah. Because there's like tablets. Yeah. About the copper quality. That's just horrible.
That's so funny.
So it's really funny. There's also like there's archaeologists that would find like really high writing in caves or something. They would go up and they find it was just someone's name. I was here.
Oh yeah.
And
it's thought like it was something like mystical.
Yeah, and it's
the
just
founding of some religion.
Yeah, and they just wasted their time on that. So it also shows like how humanity and the language that we use in general it shows how we are and how we interact with the world. I think because I'm a neuroscience student. Especially when you talk about kids. So it's mostly about neuroplasticity, right? And how, pretty much how, what's the word? I forgot the word. But more like fluid the brain is and how to shape different forms.
Yeah, like people used to think that at a certain age, you basically stop like changing your brain and your development's finished.
Definitely, yeah. But now it's completely different. Actually, it's like once you stop learning, that's when it actually stops like forming new connections, where your brain stops forming new connections. But if you always learn, constantly always learn, like new languages. I have a family friend, and she's always learning new languages just for that. She's like, I don't want to have dementia or all of that. That's like the best way to, like dementia and a lot of other
it has very positive effects.
So learning languages is probably the best. First of all, cultural, where you meet, people from other cultures.
Yeah.
Educational, where you're just educating yourself, right? And it's better for your brain. So it's like there's literally no downsides to learning a language.
Yeah, and it definitely gets easier, I think, the more you go. Because like the experience for me when I was first learning German is like you're first starting to be opened up to like how different ideas can be conveyed, or like just there's things that you take for granted of like, this is a fundamental part of like how language works or how grammar works, and you're like, it can be so many different ways. But once you get more and more like familiar with different constructs that can be in language, I think it gets easier. And from the brain side, like you will just be able to do that quicker.
Yeah. So I know like there's a lot of people that speak like multiple languages. Like I don't know what they're called exactly, but like that can speak
polyglots.
Polyglots that can speak 8-9 languages. It's like it's really crazy that their brain.
There's some that can. I mean, a lot of the guys you see on YouTube are like, I can speak like 25 languages. A lot of the time, it's just like, it's kind of like, that'd be like me saying that I can speak Korean. It's like, I learned 4 sentences. That's different. A lot of times they're like that. But there is a few
No,
genuine ones.
yeah,
who,
there is a
like
few gen-
like fluently.
No, there is a guy.
Speak 20 languages.
There is a guy on YouTube. He used to work for the CIA, so he knows like multiple languages. Well, not like he knows like I think 5 or 6.
Okay.
But that's still a lot.
Yeah.
That's still a lot for.
Yeah, and it is funny too because like obviously especially in the U.S. and any like English speaking country more so than other parts of the world, but like if you say like oh I speak like 3 languages or 4 languages, like people are like, this is incredible, like this is like a rarity. Or like I've had people tell me they don't want to learn a second language. Like I met an American who was in Germany who was like, I'm not going to try learning German because he's like, I just don't have that gift. Like I don't, like you have that gift, like you can do it.
It's not a gift.
And yeah, it's like you realize if you were just in that immersion context, like it would just begin to happen.
Yeah.
Like, and there's so many people where it's normal. Like a lot of people in in some countries speak 5, 6 languages.
Right. It's just normal. There was a guy in Iraq, and he became famous. He became a tour guide actually because he spoke like really.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah,
guy.
he spoke like really, really fluent English. Like, and not just any kind
Chinese
of
too, right?
Yeah, Chinese, and he wasn't just like fluent. Like he could speak like someone from the streets of Michigan, kind of.
Yeah.
I should show you the video. He was actually like being so fluent. It was actually insane. Like if you just listen to the voice, you're like, this is a white American guy.
Yeah.
It was like that crazy.
Wow.
And he's just outside working in the market or something. So in Iraq, it's not that big of a deal if you know English, just because a lot of people know English. It's like it's taught in schools. I mean, multiple parts of the world, it's English is taught everywhere. So a lot of people are like speak at least 2 languages. Just America. America tends to be the exception to.
Well, I think other English-speaking countries like the UK, New Zealand,
even then they tend to have like because of European countries, they tend to have an influence of learning more languages.
They do a bit, like probably in the UK it's like they do, I think French like more in school or something like that, Spanish. But like I do think that it's not a huge difference from here. And then like when I was in New Zealand, like there is actually like another kind of national language of New Zealand, the Maori language, because it was the people who were there before the Scottish and English colonizers. But even there, like the Maori people are usually like bilingual, or even though many of them like that language is not as commonly known as it used to be. But like a lot of the like white New Zealanders, they have maybe a year required in school to learn a different language. So it's like you're not gonna learn anything in a year.
No.
And they don't really speak, like they know a lot of Maori words and stuff. But so I do think just
English people that speak English are the problem. Let's eradicate them.
But it's only becoming easier and easier because now it's like everywhere in the globalization, everywhere is learning English because that's easier to get jobs. And it's such a so it's like the increasing globalization, and it's not just English. There's a few, of the big kind of like lingua francas, like Mandarin in East Asia covers a wide range of countries outside of China, and there's French is very big and stuff like that. But English, you can get by most places.
Because I mean, English is like I've told you already. It's like the free trial of languages. It's way more easier than other languages. Like for me, like speaking, like I write poems sometimes, right? In English, it's like so easy to me. It's like just another day, right? It's very easy to write a poem in English. But then I come to Arabic and I just get lost. So like everything is just different in Arabic. The whole structure of everything is different.
Right.
There's so much you could say in different words. Like I mentioned how like I have a hard time sometimes explaining what a word actually means because it could mean so many stuff.
Yeah.
Not just based on context, right? Like in one context, I could mean it in many ways. It's just very complicated. And what's the worst part about it is I can't like actually articulate what I mean, right? So it's like
So
language.
it's like if there's
disappointing
something you
me.
want to say
Yeah.
in Arabic or something, there's not necessarily a way to just translate that to English.
Right. There's a lot of like even when we discuss like religious stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some words that I say in English because I'm trying to like explain something in Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
In Arabic, it has a deep meaning.
Yeah.
But when I try to when I say the good deeds thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say good deeds, but in Arabic, it means something different to me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's also about language. It's like two words translated
Yeah.
exactly the same could mean complete different things.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, I think we should probably wrap up. So to summarize, and conclude, I thought we'd each answer the question like, what tips do we have for learning a new language?
Right.
So yeah. What are your thoughts?
What's your tip? I mean, I think you're better at it.
Well, okay. I mean, my main tips, I guess, would be just simulate like an immersion setting as much as possible. So because we talked about like being immersed in it, like if you live in another country, that's the best way. But you can't always move to a different country to learn the language you want to learn at, and you don't have to. But obviously, try to find native speakers around you and contact them and see if people are willing to, help you practice or whatnot. But you can still simulate immersion by listening to music in that language, watching TV shows. If you're a very beginner in the language, start watching, like read kids' books or watch kids' shows. I've watched Curious George in Spanish before, or stuff like just like anything that you can do that's natural language input, because things like Duolingo, while helpful for picking up vocabulary, they're giving you a very like sanitized and kind of like a primer of the language, whereas a lot of like actual content in this language will be more natural to how the language is used. And you cannot take any shortcuts for the ear training phase of learning a language, where your ear you start to be able to actually distinguish the sounds. Because at first it just sounds like foreign language sounds, and you couldn't even repeat back.
Right.
But if you can get to the part where even you don't know what every word means, but you could at least repeat back, you're starting to distinguish the sounds. And that, you just need a lot of immersion. So that's not everything. You still have to be like actively learning vocabulary. But that I think is my biggest tip of like, watch TV shows, listen to music. And I know a lot of people who like learned really good English primarily from watching just tons of American movies and TV shows.
Exactly. Building off of that, I would say also like meeting people like in your own country. Especially if you're in America, you probably are going to find people from all that speak any kind of language you really want to learn. Just finding friends and people that you can discuss stuff with, like in that language with. First of all, it's more realistic kind of view of that language, and second of all, it's like it's gonna help you just improve really, really, really fast. For me, it's like I'm still in the Duolingo stage where I'm still learning like Romanian through Duolingo, right? But I'm trying to start like reading books in Romanian, like kids books and stuff like that, just to start learning and meeting people like that. But I think the biggest thing is also like being very willing to do it, like taking your time. And, instead of, doing something, like, as, when you're taking a break from studying, for example, right? Study language, take it as something fun also. It's not like you're studying to get a good grade. It's something that you should enjoy, right? So I think that's my biggest tip, just to enjoy actually learning the language instead of just taking it as a chore that you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Be motivated by the culture, find things that you're interested about the culture. And then, like, daily, it's much better to do 20, 30 minutes every day or 5 days a week. That's way better than 6 hours in one day, and then you don't study it again for another week. So even small amounts of daily is good. There's not really a ton of shortcuts. So if you see something advertising, sign up to our program and learn Spanish in 4 weeks.
Yeah, sleep and learn while you're sleeping. Yeah. Because apparently that helps. That doesn't work. I mean, the best view of it is if you listen to it long enough, the words become distinguishable, right?
Yeah.
But you still aren't actually learning anything, right? It would just, be a catalyst to learn faster. That's it. But I think that's like the biggest thing, because once you lose motivation, then it's just a chore and it's just annoying.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. We can wrap up. We'll see you in the next episode. Are you gonna say bye or
Bye.
bye? He just ends it with bye.